On January 13th, 2022, Free Industries shut down all servers for not only Halo Free, but all other Halos on the Xbox 360. And with that, a major part of not only the Halo franchise, but the gaming industry as a whole, vanished into the abyss of history, and one of the saddest days for the gaming community. Now before we reminisce over the death of Halo Free, it's important to look back on what made it great and why we hold the feelings for it that we do. What kind of advertising campaign, gameplay, and community led to this treasured experience? What set it apart from other games? How did it change gaming? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never owned an Xbox 360 or Halo Free on it, because at the time when the console was popular, my parents thought I was simply too young to own one. I mean, heck, they even made it hard for me to get Minecraft of all games. But despite this, Halo Free remains a very special game to me that has been a major part of my life, as at the time of my childhood, most of my friends were major Halo fans and talked about it consistently. The game was literally everywhere, and for good reason, and I'm glad that I finally got to experience the game myself in 2021. If we want to discover how Halo Free rose to the heights that it did, then as with all games, we must analyze its marketing campaign. A game can have the greatest multiplayer and campaign imaginable, but nobody will know that if they've never heard of the game or the advertisements for it look bleak and dull. Halo Free's marketing is not only the best in the Halo series, but the best in gaming history, and it's on the same level as the ads for movies. The reveal trailer for Halo Free showcased what appeared to be a fun and invigorating new campaign for the series, something fans desperately deserved after having to wait since Halo 2 came out in 2004. It started out with a freaking epic entrance for Master Chief that still gets me to this day. And then the camera turns to show the audience what looks to be a massive Covenant invasion force landing on the planet below, covered by possibly the greatest theme song for any video game ever. Through the trailer, the game lets you know that this is yet another life or death battle for humanity. It lets you know about the kind of relationship that Cortana and Chief will have, and most importantly, it lets you know that just like in Combat Evolved in Halo 2, the fate of the galaxy is in your hands. You are playing as the most powerful character in the game, and whether humanity survives or dies, the decision is in your hands, and you are totally responsible. And then, believe. This is, quite possibly, the greatest and most successful gaming ad of all times. It used a new real-life element to relate to viewers more than what other trailers could. The use of interviews, real-life people, and stop motion gave the community a kind of ad that they simply couldn't resist. And on Halo Free's release date, gamers were ready. The release of Halo Free was one of the most energetic releases for a video game in history. People waited for hours in line to pick up a copy of the game for their Xbox 360 that would eventually red ring on them. Looking back, it's insane to see how much energy there was for the game. When was the most recent time a game saw thousands of people waiting overnight at GameStop to buy it? While there was no doubt a great amount of well-deserved hype around Halo Infinite, people weren't standing in line for hours to buy it. On a final note about the release, my gosh do I hope that someday soon, a game with the same kind of energy and hype around Halo Free will come out. I was too young to experience the hype at the time, so please, game developers, let me share in on the fun! While Halo Free's campaign might not have as much character development as previous titles in the series, it has more than enough groundwork to make it engaging, enjoyable, and very replayable. The story is well written, and while not as long as other campaigns in the series, it is arguably more replayable than them, and most importantly, you remember what you played through, because you had fun, and it left an impact on you. The story starts out with a bang. You're introduced to many of the same characters who were in Halo 2, like Sergeant Johnson and the Arbiter. Even if you've never played any Halos before, like me, you can still grow to love these characters in this game, albeit at least for me, I cared about the Arbiter more because he's in the game more often, and his portion in the ending scene is very emotional. While not being as long as other titles, the missions are better because you aren't repeating the same exact thing like fighting through the same corridor multiple times. In Halo 3, the missions are fresh. You get lots of action and see lots of new things, without anything getting too repetitive. The best missions in the game are the ones that push the boundaries the most. The Scarab Tank duel is new and exciting, and to this day people still try to find new ways to beat it. Driving the Scorpion tank and destroying the various enemy vehicles is fun, and flying the helicopter around and destroying the Banshees is something you don't get to do in many other areas. although it still doesn't compare to the space battle in Reach, something I wish we could get more of in the Halo series. Generally, the mission The Covenant is most people's favorite mission, and for good reason. It's easily the most action-packed and exciting one. In it, you get to fight 2 Scarab tanks, you ally with the Flood in order to overthrow the Prophet, and the beloved girlfriend of Johnson dies. This is arguably the most emotional mission with the highest amount of character development, as fans are saddened to see the almighty waifu die. However, while Covenant may be your favorite mission, Halo is mine, and for one reason, and one reason only: Warthog Run. Before getting Halo free, I listened to the theme song for the run on YouTube for fucking hours. It is the most epic theme song I have ever listened to, and it gets my blood going every time. Okay, sorry, I'll stop that. But seriously, every single thing I love about Halo crammed into one final mission. Vehicles, epic fights, explosions, the Arbiter, Marty O'Donnell's epicness. This mission just couldn't be better at all, and my gosh, I cannot overstate how much I freaking love it. Overall, the campaign will forever go down as some of the best Halo content ever, and people will continue to hack and rig it for years into the future. But what has made Halo 3 last for as long as it has is undoubtedly its multiplayer. The innovations of custom multiplayer games in the game cannot be overstated. Not only did these additions change the Halo franchise, but they also changed the gaming franchise as a whole, and to this day, games are still behind Halo 3 in terms of features, and it's literally over 14 years old now. That's just how advanced this game was, and to see the Xbox 360 servers shutting down is heartbreaking. Forge was an early version of Minecraft, only unlike Minecraft, you had actual vehicles and you didn't have to mod the game. This game mode allowed players to create whatever they wanted and live the gaming dream life with their friends. File sharing allowed the community to share their creations with each other, and the growth of the new platform YouTube allowed players to advertise the game for Bungie through machinimas, which grew the game in many ways that were never possible before. Honestly, the fact that most present-day games don't have things like the ability to join a voice chat party in-game or file sharing is ridiculous. New games should progress and build upon the achievements of the old, but instead all we get are microtransactions. Overall, Halo 3 was a part of a better generation. A generation where developers felt compelled to innovate more and put the fans and their desires above raking every little penny out of them. And as a result of this, they created some of the all-time best games and consoles, and built the very foundations of hundreds of millions of people's lives. Halo 3 was a part of this wonderful generation, and boy does it have a lot to show for it. While today it might be shutting down, I know that I, and all of you guys watching this video, will forever have fond memories of it, and will never forget this absolute masterpiece of a game, and the friends we made along the way. I'm Zane Lewis, thanks for watching.